Welcome to the course Ancient Indian Management. Today we are going to discuss ancient economics of India, and especially we will discuss Jain economics given by Lord Mahavira. So the lesson is Mahavira's economics. In the words of Anish Kavadia and Anupam Jain, the principle of economics was developed for the betterment of mankind, which can help us in achieving the target of nature-friendly sustainable development, free from any type of exploitation. This is the real humanomics. The religious path or the path of non-violence can help us in designing the economic organization which can ensure the development and the ultimate happiness for all. In the discussion further, we shall identify the Jain principles which can help us in building the new world economic order based on overall development of human beings. The ancient societies and communities were so small and fragmented that the economic activities were mainly family managed. The economic development in such societies was completely free from external factors' effect. Hence, we do not find the problems like unemployment and disparities in those societies. Adam Smith said that basis of economics are consumption and production. But Mahavira's philosophy, Jain philosophy, works on consumption and production well before Adam Smith's time, at least 2500 years ago. The Jain theory of limitation of desires and possessions give us a consumption formula. It can help us in defining the use of resources for our basic needs. And trust me, this is not an abstract idea, but a way of life in Jain philosophy. As discussed in the previous videos, Jain texts give a detailed account of this control in terms of code of conduct for the family called Anuvratas and lists them in 5 categories for imposing self-control on the use of resources for self-consumption. Jain principle of aparigraha leads to limiting consumption because Jainism advocates that ownership of production structure which does not give a feeling of possession. According to Mahavira, the entrepreneur thus acts as a trustee for the society or even for the entire ecosystem. Thus, focus in such organizations is on the rationality in the planning and use of resources through various karmadana. What are karmadanas? They are avoidable vocations which give us the parameters based on which we can decide the occupations for Jain community. Religion as a tool of economic advancement can lay down high moral code which respects each other's right to property and freedom of practicing one's own trade of business. The selection of occupation thus is very important in the achievement of the target of life. There were several occupations which were considered avoidable. The 15 karmadanas give the guidance for the selection of occupations. The classification is not based on varna but derived on the basis of its relationships with nature and ecology. Jainism advocates nature and environment friendly occupation. The entire world is not talking for the need of such economic development. Then ethical values for Jain businesses. The Jain form of economic organization is based on ethical values and non-violence. This form of economic organization would thus be like spiritual socialism, where ultimate aim of life is Atma Kalyana and happiness for all. Mahavira had conceived a new society that could be styled as a society pledged to basic principles. His economic idea was based on his macro approach, and for that kind of society, he prescribed a code of conduct. From that code emanate many principles of the economic system and economic theories. Economics based on relative principle and the economics of peace must complement each other. Mahavira laid down the standards governing desires and prescribed the limits of consumption. With the determination of the limits, some principles of economics emerge. When we talk about aparigraha or limited parigraha, scholars say that the theory of the promotion of extreme expectations and production are tempting, but they are not natural and the outcome is not in the best interest of human beings. According to Mahavira, economics is the discipline of material prosperity and the science of peace rests on the limitation of wealth. There cannot be any meeting point between unlimited expectations and peace. Author of the book Mahavira's Economics visualized, designed and resolved that there should be a dialogue on some of the theories of economics of Mahavira, which could give some solace to man afflicted by mental stresses and problems of environment. The lecture is based on the book Mahavira's Economics. Mahavira's economic idea can be visualized as the idea of a society dedicated to religion as its driving force. It is based neither on materialism nor on any other similar theory. It is a concept in which materialism and spiritualism are interwoven. Mahavira was not an economist, but he was a realist. He did not reject materialism or materialistic pleasure, but he did bring out the difference between spiritualism and materialism and also the evaluation of the both. The first is everlasting and it is real happiness, while the other is monetary and materialistic pleasure. Let us start from modern economics first to understand Mahavira's economics. The three foundations of modern economics are desires, needs, and demands. Modern economics asks us to multiply desires, increase needs, and expand demands. From a comparative point of view, the spread of desires is extensive, the spread of needs is smaller, and the spread of demands is even smaller. The structure of modern economics is founded on these three. And when we talk about the elements of Mahavira's economics, then these three do exist, right? But we should also add four more elements in the list of the previous three elements. And these are means of convenience, physical desire, enjoyment of luxury, and fame or ego. Mahavira differentiates between actual and artificial needs. An objective of economic development which man attains is of securing means of convenience or comfort. Man needs basic facilities. That is why he earns money and accumulates wealth. The second element is attachment. Neither the comforts nor the needs are sufficient. It is only passion. Today's advertisement world arouses such passions that what is unnecessary is made necessary in your mind. By seeing these around, it appears that without using or enjoying those means, we cannot live a normal life. This is how the advertisements affect on us. The passion gets generated through advertisement, and man has attraction for luxury. He makes maximum efforts to satisfy his desire for luxury. To acquire means of luxury, a lot of money is required. Money nourishes this tendency in man. Another objective is fame and status in society, or the satisfaction of the ego. Even if there is no need, many products are purchased for satisfying one's ego only. Focus of Mahavira's economic idea was on the following four things: uncontrolled desire, limitless wants, excess of comforts, and luxuries. The basic stress of modern economies is on the uncontrolled desires. It cannot lead to welfare and development. Limitless wants. For wants as well, the same theory is applicable. The formula of modern economics is stimulate infinite expansion of wants. Do not control them at any point. With this dispensation, money again becomes the central force. Next is excess of comforts. Mahavira does not ignore man's needs. In fact, he does not reject them completely because man possesses desires. If there is desire, material means are essential to satisfy it. Mahavira also accepted this reality that means are required. But he said that where means become excessive, man becomes secondary and money takes the primary position. And this is what is happening today with us. Don't we see it happening in the society that man has become secondary and money has become the primary? Then luxuries. In a state of enjoyment of luxuries, man does not have a place at all. While luxury is neither required nor essential because it gives neither comfort nor pleasure. And now we can talk about Mahavira's economic principles. That man follows the pursuit of money. What is the principle that Mahavira has given on this subject? Was desire rejected by him? Mahavira did not reject the existence of desires. He said, Ichchahu agasa sama anantiyo. Desires are endless like the sky. He did not ask us to give up our needs. What he advised was control desires, restrain and limit needs. Basic needs teach us to differentiate between what is necessary and what is unnecessary. Mahavira's philosophy gives us a beautiful classification of needs. There are only two kinds of needs, physical and mental needs. What satisfies the needs of the body is a necessity, and the mental need can be ornaments on your body. This is not a need of the body. It is a demand of the sense organs. Acharya Vinay Vijayji has presented the entire visualization of Mahavira's economic ideas. Then next is the personality of man. Limiting material comforts do not allow them become limitless. As already said, houses and clothes are necessary for the body, but do not expand the wants to an extent that these become harmful. As we see in the modern world, at the name of the fashion, we are spending lakhs of rupees on designer dresses. Mahavira gives us the principle of limited wants. According to him, the prudent principle guiding the limits to consumption is this: any article of use which does not impinge, and he said that luxury is unnecessary. He raises a question: who is more important, man or money? Acharya says that the articles which harm to physical, mental and emotional health, they are undesirable. He says fridge is a means of immediate comfort, but it is injurious to physical health. It is also harmful for the environment. Same is the case of an air conditioner. It is also harmful. And then he advises the undesirable consumption should be stopped. And basically this is the language of logic. He calls luxuries our imaginary wants, the unreal expectations. Such expectations make us forget the reality. That is why Mahavira says that we should limit our imaginary wants and exercise restraint. Remember, Mahavira did not say that only the soul is real and the world is unreal. He did not even maintain that man's conduct is unreal. Acharya criticizes refrigerator, air conditioner and television. With these examples, he tries to prove that luxury is unnecessary. And Mahavira says, put an end to luxury. Luxury is absolutely unnecessary. And Mahavira actually formed a society following his principles. Jain literature gives us the examples of those societies. Many kings and many queens who followed his principles. The subject also followed the principles which were followed by the king and the queen. The head of Lichavi Republic, King Chetaka, was an important member of that society. Now let us draw a brief comparison between the modern economics and Mahavira's economics. The first difference would be of the very fundamentals of basic philosophy. Modern economics is based on a single track materialism. Mahavira's economics is based on the acceptance of both materialism and spiritualism. Modern economics has set a goal: man must become wealthy. While the objective of Mahavira's economics is that man should live his life peacefully and happily. Modern economics says that happiness can be acquired through wealth, and Mahavira's economics says that happiness can be gained through peace. The equation of Mahavira's economics is limit to wealth is equal to peace plus happiness.